JJ's cryptic corner where the coins keep turning, logging out, the future's burning. JJ's cryptic corner, JJ's cryptic corner. Pixels glow, charts flow, crypto whispers, secrets show. He cracks the code on this winding road. JJ's cryptic corner, JJ's cryptic corner, JJ's cryptic corner, JJ's cryptic corner. JJ's cryptic. Tune in, lean back, grab your coffee, hit the track. JJ's live, don't be late. Cryptic wisdom, seal your fate. JJ's cryptic.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Saturday. How's everyone doing today? Sound off in the chat. Smash the like button on your way in. Avert your attention to the poll. What's going on, guys? Let's see. Hey! Guys, we are still in the bunker. Still spooky. We might be able to leave soon, though, allegedly. The poll in the chat, I asked you guys, are we heading into a recession? You got yes, oil wrecked everything. No, the Fed says us in May. Yes, long overdue. Or no, people overreacting. As always, what's going on? Jake Dorton, Tom Selleck, Scout, Philly. How you guys doing? All right. Oh, did I fumble the title? Is the dollar is crushing your... Oh, you're right, Philly. Let me fix that. Thank you. This is why we have mods. Oh no. Okay, it's fixed. Just everybody refresh and ignore it. JJ English. Oh man, that's pretty good. That's a good one. All right, is the dollar is crushing everything? Find out tonight. All right, it's fixed. We're good. Is the dollar crushing everything? Everything's spelled right. That's pretty good. I remember I used to put like the date or the number or something, and every once in a while Pahit would come in here and he'd be like, yesterday's stream? And I would have to fix it. Those good times, guys, good times. All right, Bitcoin currently trading at $70,467.77. Kind of quiet. We seem to be holding above 70K though, with some pretty decent strength. DXY 99.5. The DXY, the dollar, is the reason everything is looking a little bleak at the moment. I guess for the sake of the stream, I'm not really going to flick through everything. It's all very flat compared to what it was yesterday. So just use your imagination. The numbers are literally the same. Solana looks pretty decent, but everything else has been very, very flat. Nothing really going on in the market. Gold and silver. I guess gold, we can check silver, but it's just flat, man. Everything's really flat. It's very strange. The market is definitely waiting for news. John Tujo said, we kind of getting the beginnings of an alt season here, huh? Where? Says who? Nothing has changed. I hope so, but I would say no right now. If you ask me right now, I would say no. But that's just my opinion. For 3 months. Tom Selleck said nothing has changed for 3 months. He is correct. February, March. I guess 2 months at the very least. 3 months for stocks. Probably even more, to be honest. Well, actually, that's not true. Look at the S&P. Did take a big fat dump. Look at that. Are we going for the full correction down to 62? Based on this fractal, which we pulled over, not so long ago. I think we reached about this point, like right around here. We definitely pulled the fractal over from, I don't remember, was it like back here or something? So it might play out, man. Down so bad. Looking for signs of alt season everywhere. Crypto Spaces said, why early stream? I am going to the theater. after the stream, and I'm not gonna have time to. I gotta stream every day, man. It's an addiction now. I've reached the point. Hang on. I've reached the point. Oh shit! There's green on my shirt. I've reached the point where I literally am incapable of not streaming for a day, and I want to make sure that you guys have a stream. So I'm streaming early today to make sure that you guys have a stream. I feel like I should talk with my hands when I'm doing this. I'm streaming early today to make sure that you guys have a stream to watch with your eyeballs. With your eyeballs. What are you watching? My fiance she does theater, and she's directing a show. This is probably her 4th show that she's directed. Daughter's going to be in it. Daughter has a non-speaking role this time around, but it's fun. It's a ton of fun. It really is. It's just one town over. I can't say what it is. I'll dox myself, but it's a cool show. There was a horror show months ago, and not months ago, it was in October. I guess that was months ago. It was so good, dude. It was kind of like Clue. It was so good. All right, let's get back to it. Tom Salkscoat said if S&P goes back up from here, we match that last dip. So basically just back to where we were. Exactly. 100%. Yeah, I mean, if we match the last dip, we could technically, this could give us the spring to get up to 7,700, but it would take like a solid couple years, I would assume. Maybe not a couple years, maybe a year and a half. All right. Yeah, not much going on in the markets, man. Nasdaq and S&P both taking a big fat dumper, you know. It's all dependent on the news right now. It is all 100% dependent on the news. Speaking of, let's get into the news segment. Crypto Fergani posted, sell everything when Coinbase is #1 on the App Store. You see crypto news on Instagram. Random TikTokers are trading meme coins. Everyone around you is speaking about crypto in grocery stores, at the gym, etc. People are texting you for advice. Everyone is making money. The market will top when these signs align. If you guys haven't seen it already, Andrew Callahan with Channel 5, highly recommend you subscribe to him on YouTube. He interviewed Haley Welch, the Hawk Tuah girl, and I just gotta say, I feel vindicated on this one as well. Everyone insisted that she was a mastermind scammer, and she did it, and she took a bunch of money from people, and I said I didn't think so. I said I did not think that was the case, because why would she do that? She was already making a ridiculous... This girl was getting paid to just go to events. She was getting like 30 grand to go to a concert and like walk up on stage for 5 seconds. Why would she scam people for money and ruin that? You know what I mean? So she's very charitable as well towards animals. So I respect that. But I straight up, I said, I was like, I don't think that she scammed people. I think that she allowed somebody to license her likeness. And that person is now being investigated by the FBI. Haley Welch and her team were cleared by the FBI and the Securities and Exchange Commission of no wrongdoing. So I feel a little vindicated. I'm just saying. Hawk Tuah girl did not, in fact, sell on that thing. Elon Musk says X could become half of the global financial system if done right. She got manipulated? Exactly. Philly said, oh, cool. Finally, we can do the daily close contest. No, I'm probably not doing the daily close contest for a while because nobody participated. I think the last one or the one prior that we did, there was one person that participated. So daily close contest, not really worth the effort or the risk of my money at this point. It was fun, though. It was fun while it lasted. Video shows ship traffic in the Strait of Hormuz over the last 24 hours. And I think that 2 or 3 ships go through. I don't know. We're not going to watch the whole thing. It's like 32 seconds. Marty Party posted, world's largest assets by market value. Real estate bubble. We got real estate, 672.5 trillion. See, what bugs me about real estate is that's kind of estimated value. It's so illiquid that it doesn't really do anything. And if you really think about it, this is probably based on what the state claims that your property is worth. And it's in their best interest based on taxes to say, oh my gosh, your house or your commercial property or whatever is worth twice what you actually paid for it, which means you owe us twice as much taxes. Uh-oh. You better pay it though, but it's a net positive because you could always sell for so much more money, right? That's pretty much what it is. Crypto Spaces said, where are we on the Wall Street cheat sheet? Let's actually take a look. Where do we think we are? Should that be the next poll? Where are we on the Wall Street cheat sheet? Let's do this. Let's go to a clean Bitcoin chart. I'm assuming we're talking Bitcoin. Go to a clean Bitcoin chart. I guess I said clean and then I go to one of the ones with stuff all over it. Hang on. Here we go. No, man. Here's my biggest concern. Before we get into the Wall Street cheat sheet, here's my biggest concern. Bitcoin dumps, and then you get a little rebound, and then it dumps again, and then you get a little rebound. Is it about the dump again? You know what I mean? This is a telltale sign of a dump. The only time it doesn't is if it's going down. Look at this. You go down, lower, low, and then it pumped. You know what I mean? Down, pump. Where else? Down, pump. Like, this is... You don't pump out of an ascending pattern. That's just not a thing that happens. And you're not going to tell me that this is down pump. It might be, but for now I'm not really convinced. Maybe that is the case. Maybe you got down pump and that pump failed. You got down pump and this pump could fail. I don't know. It's all just semantics and fantasy. But Wall Street cheat sheet. Let's pull it up. On the daily. Yeah, I guess we should be on the daily, right? Wall Street cheat sheet. Bam. Semi-transparent. See, everyone said that back here. They said it right here. Look at that. Look at how close that looks. They insisted. Didn't happen. Right here. They insisted. Didn't happen. That's 2 for 2. We're on number 3 right now. It actually looks like it's played out. Looks like we bottomed already. We got nowhere but up, boys. We did it. Actually, I don't hate that. What's going on here? That's not bad. Okay. See, the problem with this, though, is that doesn't really tell you what time frame you're supposed to be on. You can kind of do whatever the heck you want with this thing. And, like, I can double it in size and be like, look, we haven't even bottomed yet. We're going down to 50K. We're going down to 40K. You know? And the bigger I make it, the more depressing it gets. I like the people that do this because they're like, here's this gigantic several month-long deviation. It's totally fine, though. And even if that's the case, that's not even that bad, bro. Look at that. We're going down to what, 40K? I still like my 51.5, man. I still love my 51.5. Let's see what this looks like. Let me see if I can get this to fit better. Can I crop this? Is that a thing? No. Okay, I don't hate that. That looks like 40K bounce. If I really, and again, this is where that weird semantics comes into play. I can shrink this and stretch it and do whatever the heck I want with it and be like, look, we're bottomed already, you know? But I guess that's the best. I'm going to try and keep this right here. That's what I'm going to try to do. And let me stretch the top right corner. Right there. I kind of like that. And again, that just goes down to the 51.5. Man, if this plays out and the 51.5 ends up nailing it, I want to hit 2K subscribers. I think that's my reward for nailing this move. I don't know, man. It kind of looks good. Let's see. John Tujo said we should do a prediction market night. We vote on event that happens that night. I don't know. Maybe workshop that idea. You put the money up, LOL. I think that'd be fun, actually. I think that'd be great. We should totally do that. Crypto Spaces said, most looking for lower. Oh, yeah. Everyone's looking. Dude, one of the guys that I've been watching for forever, that I've, respected his opinion of and everything. He's always been very level-headed guy in this space. Out of nowhere, like yesterday, he's like, I'm bearish. The market's topped. And I was like, what? And here I am looking at everything retraced like 20+% in the stock market, 50+% in crypto. I'm like, what do you mean the market's topped? That's literally word for word what he said. That's what the video said. So I'm kind of convinced that we might have bottomed now because people are flopping out of nowhere after the market just had a huge pullback. It's kind of cracks me up. Waterfly said, just went to barbershop, thought of you and that head JJ hat for life. I'm a hat guy. I do like my hat. I did shave though. So it is very aerodynamic at the moment. Billy said, is a recession good or bad for crypto? I don't know actually. Crypto Spaces said, whoa, we bottomed. Let's effing go. Depression next. Yeah, Philly, I don't know if recession is good or bad for crypto. Bitcoin has not experienced a recession yet at all by like all technical definitions of the word. So it's going to be interesting to see how it does hold up because the whole purpose, the whole inspiration, private credit led to the 2008 financial crisis. And that is essentially, if you do the math, private credit is the events that led to the recession that inspired Satoshi to write the Bitcoin white paper. We're seeing the same cracks in private credit today. So it's going to be really interesting if we do enter a recession to see how Bitcoin holds up, just because this is technically the purpose that Satoshi created Bitcoin for. So if Bitcoin does perform, that'll be pretty badass if it does, because that's what it was made for. That pulse player. Okay, hold on. Flight fan said, looks like it is retesting 70K, then bouncing up. That pulse player said, Ray waking up. If you know, you know. Crypto Spaces said, the market has been top for so long, LMAO. Tom Salk Scout said, I said we've bottomed, sticking to it. Everyone looking for that 50K, right? Crypto Spaces said, I can't believe that, Tom. Hope you are right. Yeah, that's the problem too, is people are so beaten down. It's actually hard to believe that we bottomed. Now, I'm going to do another one. This one will blow up a lot of people's minds. If you don't adjust for inflation, this top to bottom, right before the run up, check this out. Like, I'm not going to stretch it or anything. Top to bottom, I'm just going to do that, I guess. What's that bottom? 64K? 65K? Now, I'm going to try to keep the lower level the exact same. I'm going to zoom right in because I want to squeeze this down because we very clearly fell faster than previous markets. So our bottom is 63,509. I want to try to keep it that way. Right. I'm going to do that right there. 63,509. Bam. Check that out. Look at that. Same exact bottom, same scale, same everything. Like, this has not been stretched up or down. It's just been stretched sideways. Like, I've squeezed it sideways. There's no up or down change. Percentage-wise, it's completely different, obviously. But we've done the math, and that diminishing returns it goes both ways. So you get your 84% pullback here, your 71% pullback here, and you can actually see the timeline change here as well. Look at how long this lasted. This took freaking forever to bottom. This took way less time. And this took even less time. So it would make sense if we do bottom by June and we start going up, that it would happen a lot faster. So I'm on board for both. It is hard to believe that Bitcoin could increase in value at this point in time. But if it does, then heck yeah, dude, I'm here for it. Now, the best way to shake everybody out is to think both scenarios are going to play out, and then neither of them really play out simultaneously. Like this, everyone would probably expect if we were bottomed that we're probably going to go up from here. And if we go like this and just sideways chop like one more attempt and then a failure, and then it's really bottomed out, really crappy, up until June, everyone's gone. Summertime is the worst performing time to invest, and then this thing goes skyrockets. Obviously over an extended period of time. Nobody's paying attention. Everyone's out and about. They're going fishing. They're going swimming. They're having barbecues. They're partying with their friends, or they're just working all the time, you know. And the market takes off. And then they look, they're like, oh my gosh, Bitcoin's 120K? What happened? That's crazy. I used to have all kinds of Bitcoin. I used to have all kinds of those coins. What's Fartcoin at? And then they look and Fartcoin's like $5. And they're like, what? I shouldn't have sold my Fartcoin. That's what's going to happen, man. If it does happen that way. Crypto Spaces said, GG's on Ray Pulse. Waterfly said, if I win $5,000 a week for a life scratcher, I should probably let my kid claim. Oh, yeah. Yes. I would let your kid claim it for sure. Boop-a-doop-a-doo. Cryptospaces said, I'm in FAI and banker, super broke, but keeping it pushing. Heck yeah. Cryptospaces said, I have some $2 as a gambler. Right, Dolo 2 as a gambler. Okay, Flight Fan said, private credit didn't exist before 2008, JJ. It was made due to 2008. The cracks in private credit are the same issues that we had, though, in 2008. Like the whole, just the junk and the leveraged situation, everything being bad, is what inspired the events of 2008. They just put a different label on it. Billy said, will a recession raise rates from the Fed? So if we enter a recession, the Fed should raise rates based on their like typical game plan. But we don't know what Warsh is going to do when he gets in office in May. So it's going to be a weird one. It's definitely going to be a weird one. We got 9 votes on the current poll. There are no ties, so I'm going to close it, and we're going to move on to poll number 2. Are we heading into a recession? 45% of you guys said yes, long overdue. 33% said no, people overreacting as always. 22% said yes, oil wrecked everything. Nobody said no, Fed saves us in May. What's the next poll going to be? What is the next poll going to be? Do you think we see a rate hike this year? Yes, it'll be Powell that does it. No, Warsh will cut to 0. Yes, because Warsh won't get in. So he has to be like validated by, I don't remember, whatever office, and they're not going to do that until the investigation into Powell was dropped, which apparently I thought was, but apparently it wasn't. I don't know. It's a big mess. What's the last one? Do you think we see rate hike this year? Yes, it will be Warsh that does it. Plot twist. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Do you guys think we see a rate cut this year? Yes, it'll be Powell that does it. No, Warsh will cut to 0. Yes, because Warsh won't get in. Yes, it will be Warsh that does it. What do you guys think? Let me know in the poll in the chat. So yeah, this 58% pullback is what puts us at 51,500. Now, right now, we are currently at, what are we at even? That bottom line right there is about 52. So it's not that far off. If we do bounce from here, this doesn't have to be exactly the same. This right here is 13, the difference of 13%. This doesn't have to be exactly a difference of 13%. The ones previously to this 84 weren't 13%. So I'm just going off of recent stuff because obviously it's gonna slow down over time. So maybe it's more actually. I don't know. I have no idea. Flight Fan said, that look makes sense. I think your fractal would be easy to live through. Someone can spend the next month accumulating with peace of mind. You think it would be easy to live through. So many people are tweaking right now because the number is not going up. They are losing their minds. And I think it's because everyone's overexposed to altcoins, or maybe they're just under-diversified, only invested in crypto. Like nobody has gold and silver, even though gold and silver are actually holding up worse than crypto is right now. Nobody has any stocks. Nobody has real estate. You know, it's crazy out there. Nobody has cash. Cash is the biggest investment right now. Cash is outperforming everything. It's crazy. It's so crazy. Bitcoin dominance seemingly rejecting 59 again. We'll see if that turns into anything good for us. A rate hike A. Did I spell it wrong? Oh. Flight Fan said, yeah, it was private credit before they called it private credit, LOL. Everyone's poor. Okay. I tried to say that on X, dude. People were freaking out. They're like, this guy's poor. I'm like, I just don't have a 401k. What are you talking about? There was some statistic that like people between 35 and 44 have like 16 grand in their 401k. And I was like, ha! Who the hell has 16k in their 401k? That's ridiculous. Crypto Spaces said you will own nothing and be happy. Exactly. That's my favorite part of Elon. He's like, we're going to have universal basic income so you don't have to save money. Don't save any money. I'm like, okay, Richest man in modern history. I won't save any money. Right here. Kobayashi letter. Truly incredible. The Nasdaq 100 ETF QQQ surged 1.1% between 3:40 p.m. Eastern Time and 5 p.m. Eastern Time today without any major news. Options flows on QQQ long calls were surging into the 4 p.m. Eastern Time market close. At 5:13 p.m. Eastern Time, President Trump said he's considering winding down the Iran war. QQQ is now up 2% from its low, with March 23rd dated calls set to open plus 200% above today's lows. It's going to be an eventful weekend. Crazy stuff. Elon Musk offers to pay the salaries of TSA personnel amid the ongoing Department of Homeland Security funding lapse. I didn't know that he was liquid enough to do that. U.S. federal, he just gifts them Tesla stock. U.S. federal debt has officially risen above $39 trillion for the first time in history, now up $2 trillion over the last 8 months. Since the debt ceiling was lifted in early July, U.S. debt has risen $2.8 trillion. Total U.S. debt has nearly doubled since 2018, with the U.S. debt to GDP ratio now up 124%. Meanwhile, U.S. debt is projected to surge $2.4 trillion per year over the next 10 years, reaching a record $64 trillion by 2036. According to CBO estimates, the U.S. debt crisis is out of control. You know what's going to be funny? In like probably 40 years, when my generation is like in their 80s and 90s, finally old enough to take office, we're just going to outlaw cash. We're going to outlaw cash and debt. It's all going to go away. Nobody's going to care. And we're all going to live in peace in a big communist utopia. 88 said, I think Elon could make a call. I don't think he could do shit. I really don't. Did you see, I think Chuck Schumer today said we have to fund ICE. And then he corrected himself to the TSA, which is really funny. Crypto Spaces said it's so funny some pump fund traders are still making money in these markets. I don't know if they are, man. I really don't. I genuinely, I think that people making money on pump fund are people either minting coins or people running bots that are doing like sandwich attacks and stuff like that, sniping. That's just my opinion, though. I could be wrong. U.S. gold-backed ETF holdings fell 30 tons this week to 3,077 tons, marking the third consecutive weekly decline. This sent gold prices minus 10.3% this week, the largest weekly decline since 1983. After months of record inflows, gold ETFs are now seeing the sharpest reversal in years. So much for a hedge against uncertainty. Active asset managers are cutting equity exposure. The NAIM exposure index is down to 60 points, the lowest since April 2025 sell-off. This index measures average exposure to U.S. equities reported by members of the National Association of Active Investment Managers. Gosh, that is a mouthful. Since the start of 2026, the index has declined 38 points, the largest drop since April 2025. This is also similar to the drop seen in the beginning of the 2022 bear market. The 4-week average is now down to 70 points, the lowest since May 2025. Institutional investors are moving to the sidelines. Crazy. That's what always spooks me, man. When retail is like buying in record numbers and institutions are selling, that's probably a sign that something bigger is happening behind the scenes. 88 said, I don't think they can default. They're like MicroStrategy undefaultable, LOL. Oh yeah, Giovanni said, hypothetically, what happens if the U.S. defaults on its debt? I don't know. We would get downgraded or something. I don't think any of it matters. We have like the greatest military on the planet. And who do we owe? Don't they owe us as well? It seems like there's a lot of cancellations, like things canceling each other out that could happen. I think we just owe ourselves. None of it makes any sense, man. Money is all fake. The debt is like this weird thing that we're trying to like leverage to make it seem like our money has value, because we have to do this weird mental gymnastics, but it's just silly to me, man. It's just so silly. Crypto Spaces said, I wonder how some people are so gifted. Even though I do my best, I can't keep up. I don't think that's the way to look at it, man. I really don't. President Trump threatens to send ICE agents to U.S. airports to serve as TSA agents amid the DHS funding lapse. That's pretty funny. People are mad. People are mad about that. The Fear and Greed Index is down to 14.6, the lowest since November, and down 50.9 points since January. This is now well below the 30-point threshold, signaling extreme fear among investors. Over the last 4 years, such depressed levels have only been seen in November 2025, April 2025, following the Liberation Day sell-off, or I call them Liquidation Day sell-off, during the 2022 bear market. Each of these readings marked a significant market turning point, or at least a bear market rally. Is there too much fear in the market? There's too much money in the market. ETF flows. XRP spot ETF saw net inflows on March 20th, while Bitcoin and ETH spot ETF saw net outflows. Number go down. A lot of money leaving. The Pentagon is set to adopt Palantir's Maven AI system as an official program of record. I don't know what any of that means. CryptoSpaces said, how should I look at it? If you don't mind me asking, I think you're looking at it in a negative light. You gotta flip it positive. Negativity never did anything for anyone. You can either learn from your actions or change your perspective, change the way that you're looking at the whole situation, change what you're doing, you know? Maybe, now this might be upsetting, but I've come to terms with this. Maybe trading isn't the way to do it. Maybe trading isn't the way to do it. Maybe you got to diversify your methodology. All kinds of different stuff. Just look at it in a more positive light, in my opinion, personally. But I'm not a financial advisor. All right. Senator Cynthia Lummis says the Clarity Act is the path to fulfilling Trump's pledge of making America the digital asset capital of the world. Let's get it done once and for all. Very cool. Waterfly said payout. Payout what? 88 Metals said, well, maybe you're not just that good at it. And look for something else, no? CryptoSpaces said understood. So you can look for something else, or maybe you're putting too much time and effort into it. I definitely, so we're gonna switch to Fireside. I put a lot of time and effort into learning how to trade. My hands are on my lap. So learning how to trade. And it was helpful when there was momentum in the market. And I made a little bit of money. Nothing crazy. I made more money holding spot. And I had more free time holding spot. There's, in my opinion, no benefit to me sitting on the charts all day trying to find a trade. And then when I do trade, what do I make like 5-10% if I'm lucky, or I lose 5-10%. I freaking out, stressing out the whole time. I'm watching the whole time. My personal methodology, I dollar cost average, I'm 99% spot. The other 1%, if I'm bored, I will open a trade. If I'm really bored, I'll just go find a bet on Kalshi. The bet on Kalshi is fun because most cases you can pretty much double your money. Sometimes you got to wait a little bit longer though. But it's a lot easier severance rather than just like watching your money bleed away and trying to decide if you need to open or close or whatever. I definitely prefer prediction markets to trading, and I see why people are kind of leaving crypto trading for prediction markets. But I don't know. There's a nuance to it for sure. You can get really into it. I don't think if you don't have like $100,000 to trade with, or insider information to trade with, or a huge network, personally, it doesn't seem worth it to me. So I trade to force myself to keep an eye on the markets, and if I'm bored and there's momentum and I want to have some fun, I set a tight stop loss so that if I do lose, I only lose 1%. If you can, on the platform that you're on, set a trailing stop loss, but I'm not a financial advisor. That's just the way that I look at it. Waterfly said, oh my, Fireside. Do you see the bar, Waterfly? Check it out. Where can I get you? Can I get you anything? What do you have? Tell me your problems. Okay. 88 said, well, one can just look at the statistics and help them make a decision. No. CryptoSpaces said, I'm not 88 people make 300 to 1K a daily on Pump Fun. It kills me. It's so difficult to replicate that. That's not a lot of people, though. Look at the percentage of that compared to people that are actually on Pump Fun. Bartender. Shots for everyone. I got coffee. It tastes kind of funky, though. I don't know what's... Yeah, it tastes weird, man. I don't know what's wrong with it. I'm kind of butthurt about my stinky coffee. Not a fan. Okay, let's continue the news segment. Update. Bitcoin demand is showing exhaustion as profit taking near 70K and geopolitical uncertainty continue to limit upside momentum per Glassnode. OpenAI plans to nearly double its workforce to 8,000 employees by the end of 2026 as it ramps up its push to close the gap with rival Anthropic. Dude, I think Anthropic is going to eat them alive. Has anyone here not seen my latest short? If you haven't, I highly recommend you guys go watch it. It's really funny. I bought the costume and everything. I was in the Oval Office, which, by the way, welcome to the Oval Office. Call off the attack. We need the oil in Iran, and we need an immediate bull market on the Bitcoins and the cryptos. Immediately. Get me Marco Rubio. Okay. Crypto Spaces said, yeah, but if they can do it, I can too. Tough as balls, though. What did Anthropic do? I just think Anthropic is so much better. The joke here, Claude versus Chat LGBT. We were using Claude. We used Claude allegedly for Venezuela, and Venezuela went amazing, went so good. They're like, we have Maduro, there were 0 casualties. It was literally like a 5-hour operation. And then they outlawed it. They're like, we're not going to use Claude. No one's allowed to use Claude. We're going to use OpenAI. And Sam Altman was like, yes, I helped with negotiations. Negotiations failed. So now we're going to use OpenAI. And then they use OpenAI, and now the Strait of Hormuz is closed. We are nowhere near having any kind of progress or victory with Iran. Gas is $4 a gallon at the pump. We're about to enter a global recession. Every single Gulf state in the Middle East has been bombed. Innocent people have died. OpenAI sucks ass. It is garbage. That's my opinion. And regardless of whether or not that's related to OpenAI, it kind of seems like it's related to OpenAI, so I find it funny to say that because it makes me giggle. Waterfly said, I invested in OpenAI via another company. I mean, it's not a bad investment. The number's going up still. I just think that Anthropic is going to eat their lunch. Literally everyone who's still in crypto after the Clarity Act passes. What do you guys think? Actually, a genuine question here. We're going to do the poll next on that. We got 5 votes. I'm going to end it. I asked you guys, do you think we see a rate hike this year? 60% of you guys said no, Warsh will cut to 0. 20% said yes, it'll be Powell that does it. 20% said yes, it'll be Warsh that does it. Interesting. So I'm thinking we're going to cut to 0. I do. I genuinely believe that. And I think that we're just going to print. They're going to inflate the debt away. Because it's a lot easier to pay a $39 trillion debt when the dollar is worth half as much as it was before. That $39 trillion debt suddenly becomes 19 trillion, 20 trillion. You know, that's a lot less in today's value. I think Clarity Act bullish. Yeah, let's do that poll. I want to do that poll. Start poll. Do you think Clarity Act will actually pump the markets? Will actually be bullish? Yes, but long-term, short-term pain. No. I think we're doomed. Yes. But yes, short-term and long-term pump. No. We'll fake out, then dump. Fake out up, then dump. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the poll in the chat. Do you think the Clarity Act will actually be bullish? Yes, but long-term, short-term pain. No, I think we're doomed. Yes, short-term and long-term pump. No, we'll fake out, then dump. Crypto Spaces said, I think Clarity Act bullish. How they cut to 0? How they can cut to 0? Everything is destroyed. That means Trump admin will literally destroy everything in financial system with one massive bank run. Will it be a bank run if interest rates go to 0? Let's actually ask Rock that. All right, theoretically, Kevin Warsh becomes the next Fed chair in May. He cuts interest rates to 0. What happens next? Yeah, let's see what Grok has to say. Just give me a rundown of what you think, Grok. All right. Right here, MSB Intel. This is what the Strait of Hormuz looks like right now, day 22. Normal traffic, 138 ships per day. Current 2 to 8. 95% of the vessels' movement through the world's most critical energy choke point has stopped. Only 21 tankers have crossed since February 28th. On March 14th, 0 ships transited in either direction. First time in modern history. Iran hasn't fully closed it. They've built a selective blockade. Chinese and Indian ships can pass. Japan was just granted access yesterday. Everyone else pays $2 million per transit through an Iranian-controlled corridor. 20% of ships are running dark. 2,000 vessels and 20,000 seafarers are stranded in the Gulf. Brent crude, $112 a barrel, up 60% since February. War risk insurance, $5 million per voyage, up from $125K. Some insurers refuse to offer any terms. Goldman says oil could exceed the 2008 all-time high of 147 if this extends beyond 30 days. Qatar's Ras Laffan, the world's largest LNG facility, has been offline since March 2nd. Iranian missiles hit it again March 18th. 2 production trains are physically damaged. Repair time 3 to 5 years. 20% of global LNG supply is gone. Trump said Friday he's considering winding down. In the same statement, other nations should police the strait. The United States does not. No U.S. Navy escorts are running. Israel says strikes will intensify. Markets are locked until Monday. Nobody knows what the heck's going on. Pickle Rick said, how long you been live? Oh, man. I have been live for 42 minutes. October. Might be. Crypto Spaces said, people are still here. I told you to come back in October, LOL. Yeah, no, I'm still not buying the October thing, man. If it's going to be bad, I think if it's going to be bad, I don't think October's going to save us. I don't think any timeline's going to save us. Keep in mind, Ben Cowan insisted that the 4-year cycle didn't exist last bull market. And he also, I'm pretty sure, missed this entire run-up. Oh, I'm getting a scam call. Do I answer? I can mess with them. Hello? Aw.
A legacy request.
This stupid machine. I can't even prank him anymore, man. That's dumb. All right. Coin Bureau. Strategy now holds $54 billion in Bitcoin. Michael Saylor's strategy has accumulated 761,068 Bitcoin, about 3.6% of Bitcoin's total 21 million supply. That's crazy. Their holdings are now worth roughly about $54 billion as Bitcoin price trades above 70K. Very cool. What's going on, Reese? Jerome Powell. Banks are well equipped to serve crypto-related clients. Digital assets aren't on the fringe anymore. They're becoming part of the core financial system. Bullish outlook for Bitcoin. Too bad the core financial system is really slow and boring and doesn't pump. TechDev, after like a month of silence, has posted an update. The final leg, how to play it. He thinks that we're about to go up. I don't know, man. I don't know. ESCN posted altcoin trading volume collapses up to 85%. That's crazy. Altcoins are seeing reduced participation across exchanges, according to CryptoQuaint.com analyst Dark Fost. Binance altcoin trading volumes fell from 40 billion to 50 billion during peak activity periods like October and February 2025 to just 7.7 billion in March 2026. Wow, that is crazy. Other exchanges saw declines from 91 billion to 18.8 billion. This marks a major contraction since October 2025. Also, Dark Frost noted that the volume spikes in October and February coincided with local market tops. That's crazy. Oh, I don't want no audio. Get out of here. I just wanted to make the picture bigger. That is insane. Just in, S&P 500 suffers second consecutive close below the 200-day moving average for the first time since May. CBOE Volatility Index VIX posts third consecutive weekly close above 25. This is only the second time that this has happened since 2023. Crazy. Gold ETF has seen an outflow of $5.5 billion this month, on track for its largest monthly outflow since April 2013. Number go down. Gold is dumping, dude. Gold cracks me up right now. Income needed to be middle class by state. For some reason in California, it's $67,000. Oh my gosh, why is there so much money in Alaska? Highest is Massachusetts, 69, nice. Michigan, where I live, 48.3, very cool. Where's the lowest? Lowest right there, Mississippi, 39.4K. Let's go. We're moving to Mississippi, man. Let's do it. Pew Research Center's definition of the lower bound for middle income. 2/3 of the median income. Wow. Very cool. That's actually a cool stat. Texas ain't bad. Yeah. I mean, it looks like I would have assumed it would have looked like Ohio, Michigan, and Indiana, pretty much all the same. Kentucky. Ooh, Kentucky's pretty dang good, actually. Maybe we move to Kentucky or West Virginia. Wow. 88 said they do that of cost of living. That's a great question. Calculated by U.S. Census Bureau median income data. Okay, so they're just going by like the middle. So I guess it has nothing to do with the cost of living. Crazy. Income needed to be middle class. Yeah, 2/3 of the median income. All right. Breaking United Kingdom, UK's 10-year yield jumps to 5% for the first time since the global financial crisis. Get a damn phone call. I don't know why they call it a gilt. UK 10-year gilt. If you invested $10,000 in AMC Entertainment at its all-time high back in June 2021, you would have $16 today, enough for a movie ticket and a small popcorn. Not too bad. That sucks. I don't think that that's enough for a movie ticket and a small popcorn. That's like enough for like one small popcorn. Definitely ain't getting a movie ticket with $16. Gold fell to its lowest closing price since early January. Crazy. Buyer beware. We were warned. 1929, 1966, 1999. Number one in overvaluation across the board. 2024 to 2025. That's crazy. Crazy stuff. And then we got our coin confessions for the day. Been in crypto since 2012. Purchased 1,000 Bitcoin, 1,000 euros Bitcoin a day for a whole month using a non-KYC peer-to-peer exchange. Used a Yahoo email, which I no longer have access to because I didn't use my actual name. Yahoo won't reset the password for me to log in. No. You can literally get a hold of Yahoo. I've had this happen. So Yahoo will hook you up, brother. But if I worked at Yahoo and I saw that you had millions of dollars with Bitcoin, it might be easier to just steal that and peace out. But who knows, man? It is Yahoo. Yahoo's been around since the .com bubble, which is very surprising. I can't believe that they're still around, to be honest. Crypto Spaces said, with no retail interest in the market, why do they have to drag out the bad market? I don't think they have to. I don't think... See, this is another thing that I think we get sucked into this whole market maker thing. I think that we become the market maker after a certain point. And it's either self-fulfilling or we're just, we're taking long. People eventually, like, they grind around. They're like, no, I'm not going to sell my bag. No, I don't want to sell my bag. And they're like, I'll just sell my bag. And then, that happens over the course of, like, a year, 2 years. And that's how long it takes for us to bottom. But it does seem to be happening faster this time around. We did look at that chart. And this pullback is definitely faster than any other previous pullback. That's for damn sure. I lost literally everything from Hex and Pulse Chain. Wife, kids, house, car, normie peer group. I went too hard. Truly believed we'd have pumped by now. That sucks. I'm pretty sure Richard Hart is not a good person. Allegedly. Breaking. U.S. and Iran are discussing terms for potential peace talks. Breaking news. Breaking news. Does anybody watch Agenda Free TV? Love that guy. U.S. and Iran are discussing terms for potential peace talks. Per Axios, any deal requires reopening the Strait of Hormuz, freezing Iran's missile program for 5 years, and resolving Iran's nuclear stockpile. Iran's demands a full ceasefire and a U.S. guarantee of no future attacks. Kushner and Witkoff are leading the diplomacy. De-escalation has started. Let's go. I'm telling you, they got till the end of this upcoming week for that 4-week mark that Trump talked about. No limit posted. If you invested in the S&P 500 in 2000 and held it until 2013, you broke even. 13 years, no profit, and you lost 50% due to inflation. Think about that for a second. That's crazy. 88 Metals Mini said agenda-free TV is the best. Dude, it's so funny. Just the way that he narrates stuff, and he is so pumped whenever something. He's like, breaking news, breaking news. He gets so excited. And that is it for the news segment, guys. Grok said, in this theoretical scenario, set in May 2026, Kevin Warsh confirmed as Fed chair and immediately slashes the federal funds rate from its current 3.5 to 3.75 target straight to zero. This would be an extraordinarily aggressive move, roughly a 375 basis point cut in one step, far beyond normal Fed practice. Immediate hours today's market euphoria and risk-on frenzy. I'm excited, dude. I don't know if they're stupid enough to do that, but I'm here for it if they do. Short-term credit boom and economic acceleration. Medium-term, 3 to 12 months, inflation reacceleration and side effects. Who cares? Longer-term risks, overheating, correction, and forced reversal, 1 to 3 years. So what if they cut rates to zero for like 6 months, and then they bring them back up to like 2? Would that be that bad? I feel like that's totally fair. Crypto Spaces said 5 years and altcoins did not pump. You are correct, my friend. 88 said there's a siren. Breaking news. A siren is going off. You hear it? A siren. Crypto Spaces said it will crash everything if they do that. I don't think it will. I really don't. Inflation will go parabolic. Will it? I disagree, man. Warsh's toolkit. Political. Okay, those are caveats. Historical precedent. Japan's decades of ZIRP contributed to zombie firms and low growth. U.S. 2008 to 2015 ZIRP and quantitative easing fueled asset inflation and slow wage growth for many. Doing it without a crisis. Current conditions are... How is this not a crisis? Amplifies bubble risks. Kiss my ass. Grok doesn't know what the hell's going on. Grok told me silver was going back up. It's down like another 20% since then. Oh, man. That's fun. Fun stuff. Obviously, cutting rates straight to zero would be crazy. But if they start cutting, then it could get fun for a minute, you know? Crypto Spaces said, you want to be part of the bank run, LOL. I don't blame you. I don't think that there would be a bank run. Let the non-investors deal with it. That's why you have to invest, man. Investing's so important because your money's going to get inflated away anyways. And what sucks is we get into downturns like this and people hate investing and then they never touch it. Which maybe is why they do it. Maybe they do this to make people scared of investing and then nobody invests. And the people who do invest that know make money. And then there's still all the people that are impoverished with no investments. What do we got left in the month? We got 11 days until the next ISM PMI print. That'll be exciting. I'm actually very excited for that. Let's see. Current poll. Do you think Clarity Act will actually be bullish? We are tied right now. Can we get one more vote on the poll? If you guys think Clarity Act will be bullish or not. Just to break that tie. DXY 99.503. All right, let me ask Grok, just for fun. Where do you think the economy is heading? With oil, private credit, stock market, seemingly pulling back, metals not holding up at all, the dollar pumping, crypto crashing, and what else? What's the last thing? Oil, private credit, stock market, the Middle East. What do you think the next 6 months looks like? Let's see what Grok says. Guys, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. We live stream every single day. It's a ton of fun. Join the Discord as well. The Discord's completely free. We are now We have 3 ties. Can we get one more vote in the poll, please? One more vote in the poll. Break the tie. 88 said, okay, hang on. Crypto Spaces said, oh yeah, no, we read that already. 88 said, higher rates mean you can make more return on loaning to the banks, though. I like it. We are suing Grok for bad financial advice on silver. 100%, dude. Class action. Who's joining me? We're gonna take Elon for all of his money. I posted, he said he was gonna pay TSA agents on X, and I reposted that. I was like, I just remembered I'm an unpaid TSA agent. All right, let's see. Total 3, 725. I mean, it's holding 700. That's good. Let's go look at total crypto market cap. It's been a while. Go to the daily. Yeah, man, this thing broke out of any semblance of a pattern that it had. I mean, it was a rising channel. That is a bearish pattern, so now we are in a descending channel. Where is it going to take us? The purple's kind of easy to see. Oh, is that a falling wedge, actually? What? Hang on. This might be crazy bullish. Kind of looks decent. 88 said, and we are using Claude as our lawyer. Can we get some more lines on it, please? You don't think we have enough? I agree, actually. Total market cap, April, May 2026. Let's see, man. Let's see if we hit it. 14-month rise next. That's clearly not happening. JJ's alternate estimate for total market cap. March 5th or 15th for potential bottoming reversal. Oh, hang on. I mean, I feel like I can't get rid of that either. I can't get rid of my lines, man. I can't do it. I can get rid of this crap. That one can go. I'm addicted. Get rid of that one. We'll get rid of these. Hang on. That and that and that. We'll get rid of all the small ones. Make it look a little less cluttery. That looks better, right? Right? Yeah. I need these. Man. These are the important ones. Okay. The U.S. economy is heading toward moderate expansion in 2026. Kiss my ass, dude. Grok is drinking the Kool-Aid, dude. Like Kool-Aid enema. With real GDP growth tracking 2.2 to 2.6 for the year. No deep recession in the base case. Recession odds set at 25 to 35. Oil pulling back after spikes. Brent 100 to 103. Stocks pulling back. S&P hovering off recent highs. Private credit under scrutiny. Yields compressing to 8 to 8.5 all in. But shadow defaults rising. And some redemption pressures, valuation questions amid broader volatility. The market keeps growing toward 2 trillion plus assets under management, offering income in a higher for longer rate world. Metals not holding up. Gold corrected sharply after peaking above 5K. Silver, copper similarly volatile, weak on dollar strength and profit taking. Dollar pumping, DXY, acting as a safe haven bid. This is crazy. I've never heard of the US dollar being the safe haven bid. I think that's the craziest thing I've seen so far. In all, my, what is it now? 7 years of investing. Never seen the dollar, the United States dollar being a safe haven. Blows my mind. S&P hovering. It's down AF. Yeah, dude, Grok's information is like months behind. Where is the S&P? Yeah, look at that. The S&P's hovering. It's like cable guy hours. It's like the S&P's hovering between 6,000 and 7,000. Okay, bro. That's a big chunk. Pickle Rick said, the long not do anything for 6 months trick. Right. Next 6 months. Base case. Oh, was I literally just reading what was happening? Why would it even tell me? I know that. That's so freaking annoying. Near-term pain followed by gradual improvement Oil, inflation spike, delays, Fed easing, only 25 basis point price. Okay, I don't think they're going to do any cuts. Stocks and crypto stay pressured into Q2 with volatility. Oil eases towards 80 to 90 range. Inflation peaks and rolls over, and risk assets stabilize, recover into Q3. Okay. Downside risks. Stagflation, light. Oil, 120 to 150, sustained. Inflation reaccelerates to 3%. Sector tilt for the period. Winners, defensive, energy, high quality private public credit. Dollar assets, selective AI. Laggards, short-term growth stocks, crypto, discretionary metals, watching for bottoming signals of oil peaks. Watch points, April-May data, job CPI, oil flows, any Hormuz breakthroughs in the next FOMC. Bottom line, the economy isn't breaking. It's absorbing a geopolitical energy shock on top of already sticky inflation. Expect volatility and defensive positioning through spring, early summer. Then a grind higher if the Middle East doesn't worsen. This isn't the 1970s style stagflation or 2008. The starting point, solid growth, strong corporates, AI tailwinds is far more supportive. Data dependent as always. Monitor oil and de-escalation headlines most closely. Okay. That was kind of a nothing burger, but we'll keep an eye. We'll monitor the situation. So we invested in USD, yeah, apparently. All right, guys. Let's check the poll. I'm going to have to end it. We got 50-50 between yes and no. Do you think the Clarity Act will actually be bullish? Yes, short-term and long-term pump, got 34%. No, will fake out, then dump, 33%. No, I think we're doomed, 22%. And yes, but long-term, short-term pain, 11%. That was a total of 9 votes. Appreciate you guys. I'm going to call it. I got to get ready and head out to the theater. So, as always, when the market starts to do anything crazy or anything at all, I will hop back on. Otherwise, I will see you all tomorrow. Don't forget to smash the like button on your way out. Happy Saturday, and good night.